Hello you sexy beasts, welcome back to my face, and welcome to Q&A number 2 I guess. I've done a couple of these before, but nothing special in the past couple of months really. By the way, it's my birthday! Sorry about that. Anyway, today I am responding to the questions that you put to me on the Dicker Max video, because I asked you for some questions and you guys delivered, so let's get straight into it. Now, Ben S asks, what do you think is the best 109? To be honest, the 109 I prefer the most is the G2. The G2 is just the sweet spot between not having DBR where you have to face space fires and stuff like that, but having the 20mm AMG 151s that are really quite good. It's one of the only BF 109s that you can really use the gun pods with as well and still be effective. It's just overall a really awesome aircraft. So if you're getting into the BF 109 line, go for the G2. That thing is just absolutely amazing. And it gets a premium version, which is just as awesome as the G2 and gets a premium bonus as well, so it's an awesome grinding machine. Kozer asks, am I going to livestream more? Yes, maybe. Here's the thing, I'm currently trying to set up a second screen, which is right here, but I don't have the proper connector for it yet, so I have to set that up first. Once I do, I am actually going to be a bit more motivated to stream. I know I haven't been streaming very regularly in the past. I mean, I've been doing a lot of Thunder League streams, for example, but nothing on my own channel or on Twitch or on YouTube or stuff like that. So I definitely want to do more of that. Now, what I've been thinking is, alongside the 3 videos a week that I do currently, even though I had a week without doing any videos, but hey, I'm busy. I'm actually thinking about doing a live stream every week as well. Probably on Saturday, Friday, Saturday, something like that. I can't promise anything because, well, college is kind of screwing up right now. I'm, well, in the middle of midterms and I have to kind of worry about my grades. At the same time, I still have to do those 3 videos a week or else I'm not getting any money, so yeah, it's complicated. But hopefully I can do more live streams. Blue Ross Gaming asks what my opinion on planes in tank battles is. So here's the thing, here's how it works. In arcade you have to get a certain number of kills, a certain number of scores, so that you can summon an aircraft. It's like a kill streak, so to speak. You can summon a fighter bomber, or a bomber, depending on the number of kills you have. And it works. It used to be worse. The thing is, back in the day, the bombs would go off immediately. So you had just instances where bombers would just kamikaze into the tanks because they didn't really care about their bomber. I mean, it was a summon kill streak anyway, so they just crashed into the guys and left them no time to evade the bombs. Now Gaijin's Essence then fixed that. You now get a 5-second timer, I believe, for the fuse to run out, so you have to have at least 5 seconds between releasing the bombs and exploding. So that gives at least more mobile tanks a bit of time to run away and makes a bit more sense in trying to balance between taking out light bombs and heavy bombs. Now in RB it is a bit problematic because here's the thing. Normally the teams that get the aircraft first are already the teams that are doing better. That's the thing. You get your privilege to spawn into an aircraft in RB, the better you do, the more score you have. And it kind of skews the power to one side. If a team starts losing right at the start, it's very hard for it to come back, because you don't have the air support, you don't have anti-aircraft vehicles, probably at the start, and the other team is just going to come with bombers and pick off your heavy tanks and stuff like that, which is going to make it even harder for you to take those objectives. Overall, I still like it because War Thunder is the only game that really does that in this sense. I mean, of course there's Battlefield and stuff like that, but not really comparable. This is more realistic, let's say, and I really like that. I really like taking my aircraft and going after bombers, going after tanks, but at the same time, it's a bit of a balancing issue. We'll have to see if that changes in the future, but my hopes are it will. But for now, it works. Highlander Luck asks 2 questions, which is why don't the 3GE work for PS4 players, and what's my favorite premium aircraft? Now, for part 1, I actually don't know. The thing is, actually I do know to a certain extent. When we were doing the Thunder League, they had some problems enabling dog tags for PS4 players, because here's the thing. PS4 is owned by Sony, so every single change to any game has to go through Sony's confirmation first. And they are notoriously bad to deal with. So that's the problem here. I guess it just doesn't work because Sony doesn't allow it. It's not really Gaijin's fault, it's not, well, Gaijin doesn't even have anything to do with this. But it's not really the app's fault, it's just Sony being hard to deal with. The second part, which is also what is your favorite premium aircraft? That's actually a good question. Now, from pure performance, I would say one of the Spitfires, the premium Spitfires. I think it's the Mark 14E. It's a Griffin Spitfires with shorter wings. That thing is absolutely amazing. I don't have a single game in that where I do bad. It's just awesome. It's a bit cheesy though. It's a bit overpowered, let's be honest here. To be honest, I don't know. Premium aircraft. I would say the G2 again. I just love the G2. The G2 is just an awesome aircraft, both in looks and performance. So yeah, I'm going to say the G2. Thomas Spence asks what my opinion on the Chieftain Mark III is. Well, I did do a video on it. So if you haven't watched the video on the Chieftain Mark III, do watch it because I kind of underlaid my opinions there. But it's the Chieftain Mark III when it was announced worried me. Because it's a very late tank. I think it was introduced in 1966, something like that. And it would be facing 1945, 1944 tanks. So that's at least 20 years of difference between those tanks. But it's actually surprisingly balanced. The thing about the Chieftain Mark III is it has decent turret armor, but not the worst. Not the best. The hull armor is very bad. The lower glacis can be penetrated by anything, even ZSU 52s. The 57s, that thing is, it gets wrecked every time. The gun is 120mm, but it doesn't get APHE or heat shells, so the caliber itself doesn't really matter too much. Now the reload is very good, it has a very good firing rate for the 120mm gun. I think it's the fastest firing 120mm in the game, but it's still 120mm, so it's not going to beat out Leopards or stuff like that. The ammo choices are iffy. Here's the thing, it only gets Hesh and Sabo shells. And I don't really like either of them. Now the Saber shell is the best in the game, it gets 400mm penetration, which is just exactly as the Heat FS shells that other tanks get at that battle rating. But it's still a Saber shell. Now it does penetrate very well and does deal very good damage against MRX and fuel tanks it seems. But it's still a Saber shell. It's very fast, very easy to snipe with, but I don't know, I just had bad experiences with solid shot shells and I don't really like them, but overall the tank is good. It's balanced. It's just very well balanced. Achilles Bakis asked what my favorite top tier jet in War Thunder is. And he says that his is the Hunter, and I gotta say, mine is as well. And I don't know why. The thing about the Hunter is it's not good. It is not competitive. Ever since the MiG-17 was introduced, the Hunter just doesn't really have a place in War Thunder. It used to be the perfect counter to the MiG-15 Bis, which was the best aircraft back then, because it could outrun the MiG-15 Bis pretty much all day, every day. But now the MiG-17 is faster than it. And turns better. And it doesn't have a better roll rate, but it doesn't really matter because it turns better, it's faster, it has a better climb rate, it has a better acceleration at low speeds. Overall, the Hunter just got kind of shafted. That's a problem. The guns are still pretty good. If you can get it to a head-on with the MiG-17, most of the time you're going to win. Most of the time. But is that really a thing? I mean, if you can only go into head-ons, it's not a competitive jet. But I gotta say this, the Hunter is, in my opinion, the most beautiful jet in the game. It just looks gorgeous. Honestly, I would like to have one. If it wouldn't cost a couple million euros, probably. Oh well. 4 Tons of Fury asks, if you were a pilot or a tank commander in World War II, what would be your plane tank of choice? Good question. Now, if I were a pilot, I would probably go for a Spitfire, to be perfectly honest with you, because they are awesome. They really, really are awesome, and I really quite like them. Although, my dream is... okay, here's my thing. I have a bucket list of life goals I want to fulfill, let's say. And one of my dreams is to actually fly a P-51 Mustang. So actually, screw the Spitfire, I want a P-51 Mustang. I actually want to own one and fly one. That would be just awesome. As for tanks, I'm not really sure actually. I mean, like the German tanks, the Russian tanks are a bit hard to drive, so that would be bad, especially a T-34 driver. I couldn't be a T-34 driver, I'm too tall. Yeah, T-34 drivers had a bad time. Soviet tank drivers in general, they had very bad times. So I'd probably go for something American even. The Americans don't have the best tanks around, but they are very comfortable. Something German maybe. I'd like to be a Tiger tanker. Those are nice. Glyn Davies asks, what kind of music do I like? Oh, here's the thing, I like a a variety of music. I'm not a really big fan of the modern pop songs and stuff like that. I like everything from Brit rock, stuff like the Arctic Monkeys. I like Kings of Leon very much. I like The Strokes, The White Stripes, Muse, stuff like that. And then I also like EDM. I like dubstep. Well, dubstep not so much, but drumstep, D&B, electronica, stuff like that. Mostly for example, what you can hear in most of my videos is everything coming from Monster Cat. And I absolutely love that shit. I just fucking love those kinds of songs. I listen to the Monster Cat podcast every week. I always am on the look for new songs. I even bought myself some new stereo speakers with an extreme amount of bass, just so that I can blast the whole room. It's awesome. I know. I just like a mixture of chill, sometimes a mix of chill music and very energetic music. That's what I mostly like. Terrados 1337. Oh god, that was actually a Portuguese accent. Terrados. That's kind of Spanish. Sorry about that. He asks, what's my favorite entry-level jet? I really like the P80. The P80 is an amazing jet. It's fast, it turns pretty well, but the guns kind of let me down. I've been playing the P80 for the past couple of days, but the guns are kind of bad. Now, since the Horton 229 was reduced again to battle rating 7.0, gotta say the Horton 229. Overall, the Horton 229 is probably the best entry-level jet overall. It's decently fast, it has 30mm cannons, which have kind of a slow fire rate and slow muzzle velocity, but they are still 30mm cannons, so if you hit them, they blow everything up. It's the fastest turning jet in the game, as long as you don't break your wings and respect the speeds. As long as you don't go over 500 km/h, that thing can outturn props. Pretty much everything except for maybe Spitz Flyers and Bearcats. But P-51s, you can outturn them. F-7Fs. Hold on, F-7F? That reminded me, I have not seen an F-7F in months now. At least not in the game. What happened to them? They used to be such good aircraft. Everyone was playing the F-7F because it was overpowered. Where did the F-7F go? And finally, we have Spitz Flyer, a Australian subscriber. He does a couple of YouTube videos himself. You should check him out. Now, he has a lot of questions for me. Okay, now, I'm not going to respond to all of them, but I'm going to respond to most of them as fast as I can. So, 1. You said you were studying engineering. What type? Material engineering. I can go from pretty much anywhere, either making toilet bowls to work for NASA, if I ever finish my course, which is not looking so good. How would I describe myself? Well, I am tall, I'm about 1.90 m, I am 22 years old today, yay! I am blonde, I have blue eyes, and I'm actually quite shy. That's the thing, in public I'm a really shy person. I have a kind of a speech impediment, which makes it hard to speak for prolonged times without having to repeat myself and enunciate every single word. Fuck me. But yeah, I don't deal very well with strangers in public. I just kind of stand in my corner, not talk, have my resting bitch face on. That's my resting bitch face, by the way. No, I'm not angry. It's just my resting face. What's my favorite part of life? Man, you're going deep. These questions. To be honest, I don't really know. I used to travel a lot. I really love traveling, but I haven't really left the country for a couple of years now. I really like doing what I do, just playing games, editing, being able to express myself to thousands of people without having to actually meet them face to face, because that would make me very nervous and just sit in the corner and curl up and be a very introvert. But here I can just kind of be myself. I can just speak out my mind without having to be nervous, without having to be timid, which is awesome. I guess overall, just the experience, really, just being able to express myself, do what I want to do, have fun doing what I want to do, and meeting the couple right people, the couple of friends I can be myself with. That's the best part. If there's a really stupid song you enjoy, what is it? Oh, sorry. Ding Ding Dong, I do know that song. Oh, you touch my tra-la-la. I really like that song as well, but I guess some stupid songs I just really come back to are Everything by Read All, stuff like white and nerdy, because I'm fat, stuff like that. I just really love those kinds of songs. I don't go back to them too often because, well, they are stupid songs. They're not meant to be heard every day. But it's fun when you go back to them from time to time, especially when you're drunk with your friends. That's the best time to hear those songs. Oh, what have I got planned for 10k subs? Good that you ask. I was actually planning this for 5k subs. I was trying to do a special live stream and giveaway and stuff like that. But it never really happened for 5k because I just didn't really have the time. And by the time I had the time, I was already at 6.5k, stuff like that, so I just completely threw that out the window. Now for 10k, I'm going to plan the same. If I can, here's the thing. It depends on the time I have, because I'm predicting that I'm going to reach 10k subs by the time I'm in the exam season. And finals are fucked up. They fuck you in the ass because they love Jesus, pretty much. That's a song. Don't Google it. Or do, if you want to, I mean... It's your life. Anyways, yeah, hopefully I can get some stuff to give away to you guys. Going to do a big giveaway contest, so to speak. Not really sure what I'm going to do just yet, but we'll have to see. And hopefully a big live stream, something like 6-hour live stream maybe. We'll have to see. It all depends on the time I have, really. Why am I such a big fan of AMD? Because it's cheap. Here's the thing, when I built this gaming PC, by the way, I have a AMD processor and an AMD graphics card. When I built this PC, what I really had in mind was a price to performance ratio. And whilst Intel and Nvidia are without a doubt better, at least than the current generation of AMD products, they are also more expensive, like way more expensive. I got an octa-core AMD processor for 150 euros. Yeah, something similar on the Intel side without even 8 cores, something like 4 cores with similar performance would run me about 300, 400 euros. Intel is extremely expensive for what they do. And AMD is just better for price to performance ratio. I didn't really have too much money to blow on my PC. Now, I am thinking about upgrading my PC with the next generation of processors and GPUs. I am thinking about going for an NVIDIA GPU, but as for the processor, I'm not really sure, because here's the thing, if I want to change my processor, I'll have to change the motherboard as well. So I'll have to either go for Intel or AMD. But I think I'm going to wait for AMD's new processors to come out. I think they're called the Zen series, yes. Because they look promising, they look very promising, and if they can give me a good CPU for a good price, I'm sticking with AMD, at least for a processor. But the GPU, I'm probably going to switch over to Nvidia just because games are more supported by Nvidia. Don't get me wrong, my 390 is very good. It's a beast of a card. For the same price of a 970, it's better than 970. The thing is, stuff like War Thunder, which is what I do mostly, especially in Ground Forces, doesn't really support AMD too well. They rely heavily on Nvidia proprietary stuff, so AMD gets kind of shafted and I don't really get the FPS that I want to. And I'm kind of a perfectionist, I want to get above 60 FPS all the time when recording, or else I'm going to be very angry. So even though my 390 is very good and it's probably better than AMD, than Nvidia cards at the same price, the games I play kind of require Nvidia cards, so I'm probably going to go for Nvidia. And finally, what recording software do I use and why? Now, to record I use DX Story, which I might or might not have yards. Anyways, why? Well, because it's good. It's just overall really good. DX Story allows you to use any codec you want. And depending on the codecs you use, you can have awesome quality, small file sizes, less performance on your computer. The codec I use at the moment is, I think, Matrox iFrame HD, something like that. It's got a good balance. The files aren't too big. They're still a couple of gigs long, of course, but they aren't too big. The computer performance doesn't get affected too much. I don't drop too many FPS, and the quality overall is still very, very, very good. I mean, you can see in my videos, I like to get them as good as possible, and overall, it's good. DXR is just a program that allows you to do more. Of course, you have Fraps, which is very comparable, but the problem with Fraps is it doesn't allow you to customize as much. You can choose the codec as you can do in DXR, so you're kind of limited to that big file size thingy that it likes to do, that Fraps likes to do. Then there's Bandicam, which is just a horrible piece of shit. Don't use Bandicam, it's horribly optimized. Unless you have a beast PC like the Orange Doom, for example, has. Bandicam just, it craps on your FPS. So yeah, big sorry. Yay! Anyways, this has been it for this Q&A. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I can do some more. I'm probably not going to do a weekly Q&A just because, well, I am too lazy, to be honest. But do leave your questions in the comment section down below. Maybe, if you're lucky, in the next Q&A I'm going to pick your question and answer to it. Anyways, if you liked this video, smack that like button and subscribe if you're new around here. My name is MikeGoesBoom. Thanks for watching.
You can lift your head up to the sky, take a deeper breath and give it time. You can walk the path among the lines with your shattered frame of mind. Or instead you could always stay. We can wait right here and play until somehow you can find a slightly